What's up guys? Today I just got a super short video doing a quick carving test with the Dremel Stylo Plus. Let's just jump right into it. Alright, so up until this point I've just been using the Dremel 3000 along with the flex shaft attachment to it, and it's worked out great for me, but it does get a little annoying having the flex shaft attached to a bigger piece, and this isn't as movable as just a simple cord would be. So I have been wanting to try out the Stylo Plus just to see how it feels and if it works as good as the Dremel 3000. So the Stylo Plus is supposed to be ultra lightweight, and then also it has a 5,000 to 22,000 RPM. The 3000, I believe it has a 5,000 to a 35,000 RPM, so a little bit faster. And when I do carve with my 3000, I usually keep it at full RPM. So we definitely won't be getting quite as much RPM with this one, but let's go ahead and get it opened up and see how it works. Got a little bag of attachments here. Looks like we got some polishing wheels. So got some polishing stuff here. I'm not really into any of the polishing stuff, so unfortunately I won't cover that in this video. I'm going to be focused more on the wood carving part of it. We got some sanding wheels in there, and then I believe there's some metal engraving in there as well. Then we have the tool itself. So size comparison, it looks like it is pretty similar to the flex shaft attachment, but as you'll see, this cord right here is a lot thinner than this flex shaft, and this flex shaft is quite stiff. You can't really bend it very easily, whereas if you have a cord, that's not gonna be pulling as much, because I do notice that when I'm carving, it does kind of pull at your wrist a little bit, and my hand actually gets really cramped up when I carve. So I'm hoping that this will help a little bit with that too. And then obviously in comparison to the 3000, it's gonna be much smaller. So we got the little adjustable speed right here. Looks like it goes from 1 to 5. And the cord is nice and long. It looks like it's probably about 5 feet or so. So it's a really good length to where you shouldn't have to be pulling it around or moving it. You should just be able to plug it in and have enough slack to where you can just move around freely and do all your carving. First it feels like it fits pretty nicely. Like I said, it feels very similar to the flex shaft. It does fit a little bit better in your hand just because it is more of an oval shape rather than just a round shape, and it's got a nice little indent here. So first impression is that it feels good. And I'm actually in the middle of a flag project right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and test it out on the stars, just because that's what I use most of the carving for. I'll also do some designs with it, but I think the stars will be a good test for it just because that's what I've done the most of, so I feel like that will be the best thing to compare it to. So we're gonna go ahead and just get it plugged in and we'll see how it carves. All right, so I got my stars marked out now, and now we're gonna go ahead, and the kit comes with a number 105 carving tip. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use that one to do the outlines. Usually I have my dust blower attachment on it, but this time I don't, so see how it works without the dust blower. All right, so I got it turned up to 5. Alright, so I think that worked out pretty good. You can definitely tell that it doesn't have as much power as the 3000, but it was still enough to get it done, and it didn't take a noticeably longer amount of time to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and carve out the rest of these stars, and then I'll switch it over to a 107 bit, which is a lot bigger than this one, and we'll see how it handles that one. All right, so I'm done with the outlining now. That took 16 minutes to do 27 of them. So that's just a little bit of an idea of how long it took. I didn't notice it taking considerably longer than using the 3000 with the flex shaft. And I did notice my hand is starting to cramp up a little bit, so that must not have anything really to do with, I thought maybe it had something to do with the flex shaft, how it's thicker and it might just pull on your hand a little bit more. But that might just be something that happens either way. And it's starting to get a little bit warm. I know the flex shaft, it'll get hot to the touch, especially in the summertime. It'll get really hot. So I'll have to try this out more to see how hot it'll actually get, but right now it's just warm, so not anything to be concerned about. But now that we got those outlined, I'm gonna swap out. It didn't come with a bigger tip, but I'm gonna throw a 107 carving tip on it, which is the biggest out of the three. There's a 105, 106, and then 107. So I'm gonna throw that 107 on there, and we'll go ahead and carve out the middles of them, and we'll see how that works. All right, so on that one, I did notice a little bit of a difference. It definitely doesn't carve it quite as quick. I don't know if it's because of the bigger tip on this one. It's a little bit harder for it to spin it and take out that much more at a time. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll try it for the rest of these and just see how it works. And I'll go ahead and time that also so we can see how long it takes. All right, so to carve out the rest of those, it took me 21 minutes. I actually did one of them with the flex shaft just to take a video and show the comparison between the two. So that would have been 26 stars that I cleaned out in that amount of time. So the stylo, it definitely works. It definitely gets the job done. If I was someone who wasn't gonna be using this a ton, I think the stylo would be a perfect option. If you're someone who's gonna be putting a lot of hours on a Dremel and doing a lot of carving, I would probably recommend getting a 3000 or a 4000 and just getting the flex shaft, just because I think over time that will help increase speed and it might last longer. But if you're someone who just wants to make a couple flags and just do a couple carvings, the stylo would definitely work. And also the stylo is $49, whereas the flex shaft is around $30, I think. And then to get a Dremel 3000 or 4000, I think you're looking at around like 50 or 60 bucks. So you would save a little bit getting the stylo also. But I think the biggest factor in this is just gonna be how much you're gonna be using it. And if you want something that'll be a little bit quicker and might last a little bit longer over time after putting hours of use through it. But that's just my opinion. But I wanted to keep this video short and to the point, so if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer any of those. I hope you found this video helpful in at least some way. Thank you for watching and have a good day.